Good morning, Metcalf 7th graders. This is Mr. Orth, and I'm excited to share with you the information on your research project. Now, what you're going to see on your Schoology today is that I've listed for you a document or a link to a document for the actual overview of the assignment. Call it the Research Project Introduction. This video is going to kind of go over that with some explanation and clarification of what you're being asked to do. But that document is there for you to reference. It's a live link, so if I do make changes to that, you can see those changes in real time. Also, in Schoology, you're going to see a link to a Google form that indicates your topic. For most of you, it's something you've already determined and decided, and it's going to ask you to give me an idea of what information you've already identified for that particular project and topic. If you want to change it, you can, but I recommend you stay with what you already have to make it less work in the coming days. Watch the rest of the video, and of course, as always, email me with your questions so I can help you out. It's going to be read aloud to you on this video. What I'm going to do is actually give you some information and clarification of what's on here. The first paragraph simply reminds you that this is about life skills. This is about preparing you for whatever comes next. This is not about any one assignment. It's not about digital learning. In fact, most of the research you're going to be doing is not going to be sitting in a classroom. It's going to be on your own time, in your own space, wherever you're comfortable, looking online. So it's this perfect kind of project and activity to do during this time. The challenge you face is that the ability to get your questions answered is different outside of school, outside of the classroom. It's up to you to seek the help that you need. Second paragraph reminds you that the due dates may be adjusted. That's why you've got a live link to the actual assignment. This video, by the time you watch it, might actually be out of date if you don't watch it on Tuesday, March 31st. Each of your activities are expected to take 25 minutes of productive time. If you're unproductive, if you're distracted, if you're wasting time, if you are kind of dragging your feet on this, it's going to take more than 25 minutes for each day's activities. Otherwise, 25 minutes is what you should be spending. If you're super decisive, it could be less. If you're unsure or have a lot of questions, it's going to take more. For your topic, hopefully you've already chosen a topic through your communications class. It's possible that some of you have not yet done so. Your topic should be one of interest to you. You're going to write a paper, in fact, a 2-page paper, synthesizing information from multiple credible sources. Let me translate that for you. Synthesizing means you're pulling things together in a new way that makes sense, that works together, not simply dropping things into a recipe and forgetting to mix it all together so it tastes good. You're actually going to put it together in a new way that works for your new audience. You have multiple sources and each of them are credible. Each of them are believable and worthwhile. Again, some of you may have gathered information and you might still have a topic that's too broad. Most people do to start with. Let's review a little bit about choosing a topic that's narrow enough. If you want to research an entire historical event, somebody already wrote an entire book on that, probably several books, multiple volumes. You can't do that well in 2 pages then. It's kind of a short summary. We're not trying to do that here. You're trying to actually have meaningful information in 2 pages. So maybe pick just the causes of that event or just the effects. Maybe not both causes and effects. Maybe it's only one side of that. Perhaps a single country's role or a single person's role in a conflict. The third possibility, especially for those of you who don't have a lot right now, might be the best one for you. You might compare, contrast an event, something in history, something in the past, with something that's happening right now. For example, there are a lot of news stories being done about previous pandemics and diseases, how they were handled by the government and the medical community, how people responded to that, what worked and what didn't. A lot of those things are out there right now, and they're not that hard to find, in part because news outlets are having a hard time filling their news broadcasts with simply the news and statistics of the day. So if you're stuck, it might be a great idea to take and say, what can I do with what I've already found, and how can I connect that to what's happening here today or somewhere else in the world today? Remember, no biographies, autobiographies. We've done that, and you can't do a whole life story in 2 pages, not even your own. So how could you possibly do that for someone who lived a lot longer than you? And again, no students in the same class are permitted to research the same narrowed topic. Is there a possibility there's going to be some overlap? Well, absolutely, especially given that many of you are researching things in communications and your literary arts classes aren't the same students. The rest of this document goes over kind of the big picture requirements of it. It's not so much about today, but it is where we're headed over the course of the next several weeks. Dial this back based on the fact that we have limited time. So we're going down to 3 reliable sources, not Wikipedia. Those of you happy for communications, you're going to probably be able to skip some of the information tutorials later on. Those that didn't, I'm going to repeat some of that information. I'm going to repost the digital researching documents with a screencast to give you more clarification on how to do that. Might be a good refresher, even as a quick watch. We're going to ask for a total of 15 pieces of information. It's still possible you don't use all 15, but if you think about it, if you have 3 body paragraphs, and that's 5 pieces of information per paragraph, plus topic sentences and sentences in between, that could easily be a 10-sentence paragraph, and that's just one of them. 2 pages might actually be too short. Would be a good problem to have. Final paper, we're going to talk about MLA formatting with works cited page, in-text citations. We touched on that a little bit when we did our Zebra guided writing, but it's going to be a little more detail. And of course, plagiarism. We want to make sure that we're not giving anyone reason to believe that the ideas we're sharing are actually someone else's and we didn't give them credit. The next part of the grading scale gives you a sense of kind of the due dates for this, and we are going to spend the better part of a month on this. Both of my literary arts classes for 7th grade, we're going to break it up with other activities along the way, feeding in some skills, some grammar labs and vocab labs, some vocab workshops for 8th period, in order to make sure you're ready to do your best writing with this, not just getting done with research. And here is the research paper expectations checklist. You don't need much of this today, but a lot of folks really want to have the sense of where are we headed with it. What do I actually have to do as time progresses? And this is going to give you that opportunity. For the most part, the dates are the same for 6th hour and 8th hour, with the exception being this week. The topic form is going to be due March 31st today for 6th hour and Thursday, April 2nd for 8th hour. In both cases, we want you to make sure that you're clear on the topic you're selecting. Are you able to break it down into additional subtopics? It might be 2, it might be 4, but 3 is kind of a number in between. We're also looking for you to figure out, can you narrow that topic enough to get a clear, concise 2-page essay? It's possible you have too much information at this point in time. What a great problem to have. Then you can pick only the most important information. I don't want you to see you writing a 3 or 4-page paper just because you don't know what to do with the information. We're going to figure out how to break that down. In fact, we might even do individual video conferences where you walk me through what you have so I can understand what your needs are. Most of you already know your topic is researchable because you found information on it. If you got stuck, is it possible you needed to change? Hence my previous notes about how can I connect it to something else? If I can't find enough on my topic, what can I compare it to? What is similar to it? What is different to it? And of course, I'm assuming you already found reliable sources on your topic, or you would have bailed on that earlier, right? Thesis statement is happening later this week, but some folks really want to be able to see what's coming up and what those expectations are as we move toward that final date. Please let me know what questions you have.